This graph completely summarizes the general equilibrium of this model. And by that, what I mean is that it combines the consumer maximizing utility subject to a budget constraint, the firm maximizing profits subject to its technology, market clearing in the labor market and the goods market, and satisfaction of the government's budget constraint so that taxes are always equal to government purchases. Now to see this, what we can start with this red line that is AJDB, and this is the consumer's budget constraint, BC. The slope of that, as we know, if the consumer has optimally chosen J, then at point J, we have that the marginal rate of substitution, leisure for consumption, is equal to the wage. So remember, this means that the rate at which consumers are willing to trade off consumption, leisure and consumption, equals the rate at which they can trade those off. Then we also have summarized the firm's profit maximizing behavior through this production possibilities frontier. And remember that what we've done is we have imposed goods market clearing, which says that C equals Y minus G. So you can see that what we've done here by putting consumption on this vertical axis is we've just kind of subtracted off G, government spending, and shifted the PPF down compared to what, say, appeared in some earlier graphs. Now you also notice we could replace this T here with G, because the government's budget constraint says that T equals G. So what that means is if we look at counterfactuals where we're changing the level of government spending, anytime we change G, we're going to have to change taxes one for one. So getting back to this PPF, what we have that the PPF summarizes is, again, at point J, we are going to have that the firm is maximizing utility. The firm is maximizing profits, and profit maximization says that the marginal product of labor has to equal W. But once we're in this PPF, the slope of the PPF is also the marginal rate of transformation between leisure and consumption. So that tells you technologically the rate at which you can convert leisure into consumption. In summary, then, what's happening at this point J is this pretty cool confluence of things. At point J, we have that the marginal rate of substitution equals the wage, which equals the marginal product of labor, which equals the marginal rate of transformation. So all of those things are equal at this point J. And because we have imposed that goods markets and labor markets are clearing, we have at point J what the general equilibrium is. The last thing I want to say about this graph is it's fairly complicated. The textbook likes to use the graph to conduct counterfactual analyses. And by that, what I mean is you can use it to ask questions like, what happens when various exogenous variables change? You know, you can have a change in TFP, a change in government spending, a change in the initial capital stock. And each of these things will shift this graph around in various ways. Now, the textbook does that kind of analysis. I find it to be a bit cumbersome to do. And so what we'll do instead is we will look at what happens in the labor market when these kinds of exogenous disturbances occur.